Last week, President Biden signed an executive order directing federal agencies, including the Treasury Department, to conduct a review of cryptocurrencies in order to determine, as the Washington Post reported, quote, the opportunities crypto presents for illicit financial transactions and what steps the federal government should take to address them, any financial stability threats posed by digital assets, and to, quote, look into environmental concerns raised by the energy required to produce some digital coins. While some crypto enthusiasts seemed to welcome the news, citing it as evidence that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum have become important enough to the broader economy for the United States government to take notice, many others have predictably responded in a more negative fashion. Take this tweet from Tea Party 911, for example. Oh, I can hardly wait, so he's going to screw up the crypto industry too? Apparently he won't be satisfied until he's destroyed everything. Yes, Joe Biden, the president who has destroyed everything. What does this guy mean by everything? I don't know, and if I had to guess, I'd say neither does he. There's also this tweet from the real Kiyosaki. Bye-bye, Bitcoin. Prediction, Biden to sign executive order regulating cryptos. Next, Fed crypto. Next, all cryptocurrencies seized and folded into government crypto. Let's go, Brandon, you criminal, you commie. He sure seems angry about President Biden doing those things he hasn't done or even said he wants to do. I expect Biden is probably going to end up supporting some kind of federal regulation of cryptocurrencies, which would be a very good thing, and I hope that happens. I really don't think he's trying to destroy crypto, although if he is, more power to him, because the thing about cryptocurrencies is they're fake money that crooks use to scam marks out of real money. Fake and real aren't necessarily the most accurate terms to use in this context, I realize. In a sense, all money is fake in that it has no inherent value, only the value which we as a society impart to it. And in that way, cryptocurrencies are no different than more traditional government-backed forms of money. But unlike cryptocurrencies, more traditional forms of currency, like the dollar, the euro, the yen, or the pound, are recognized and regulated by governments, widely traded, and easily exchangeable for goods and services or for one another. Crypto, on the other hand, seems to be used mainly for illegal drug purchases and bad investments. So while, depending on how you're using the term, all money is fake, I think it's fair to say that crypto is even faker. Oh, and I forgot one of the other main uses for crypto, buying NFTs. I want to talk about NFTs in this video. If you don't know what NFTs are and you want a thorough explanation of what NFTs are and why what they are is not good, watch Dan Olson's excellent video, Line Goes Up. Just be sure to clear your schedule because the fucking thing is over 2 hours long. But again, excellent video. Very briefly, NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, are units of data that exist on a blockchain, which is a kind of decentralized digital ledger. NFTs can't be altered and are usually associated with some kind of digital asset, an image, a video, something like that. An NFT functions as a kind of proof of ownership of the asset it's associated with. If I buy an NFT of a cartoon ape, I have no idea why I'd ever want to do that, but let's just say I do for the sake of argument. The NFT proves that image of that cartoon ape is mine. Or at least, that's what people who buy and sell NFTs say. As far as I can tell, the NFT doesn't actually confer ownership of its associated asset in any meaningful way. If someone else wants to make a copy of my cartoon ape image, there's nothing I can do to stop them. I mean, I guess if I find them, I can kill them. But that, unlike making a copy of the image linked to my NFT, would be a crime. Anyway, I don't want to talk about what NFTs are in the literal sense. I want to talk about what they are in a more abstract sense, what they represent, and why, from the moment I first learned what they are and what people are doing with them, they have seemed very, very familiar. For a couple of years when I was a kid, my mom sold Mary Kay. I remember her hosting parties at our house where she sold cosmetics to her friends, or tried to sell. I think she made a few sales, but she was never able to make a career out of it or even a worthwhile side gig. Eventually, she gave it up. The promise of Mary Kay and other multi-level marketing companies was that you could achieve financial independence. You could be your own boss. You could make more money while working less. Eventually, you might even get to a point where you're earning a comfortable living while hardly working at all. The appeal of this to a woman like my mother, who wanted to earn her own money but had to find a way to do it that fit into her schedule as the mother of 2 children, is apparent. The real money in Mary Kay or other multi-level marketing companies like Amway or LuLaRoe isn't in personally selling the products. It's in enlisting others to sell the products and taking a percentage of their sales. MLMs encourage their representatives to sell and to expand their network of salespeople by hosting conferences and doing other things to encourage a sense of inclusion, to create a culture and an in-group to which they can belong. To people who commit to MLMs to this degree, the actual products being sold to people are almost irrelevant. You don't get rich selling the products. You get rich recruiting others to sell the products. You get rich by making the MLM the center of your life. Online communities that are created around mintings of NFTs seem to operate in a similar way. The NFTs themselves, like the products sold by MLMs, aren't the point. The point is the promise of a better, easier, more comfortable future that you can be a part of if you're smart and bold enough to get in on it. The only reason most people buy NFTs is so they can turn around and unload them at a profit. That's the promise. Buy in now, and when the value goes up, sell and change your life. NFTs are get-rich-quick schemes, and like all other get-rich-quick schemes, their appeal is made of wishful thinking and empty promises. That's why, as annoying as they can be, when I see people on Twitter, ordinary people, mind you, not celebrities and such, pushing NFTs, excitedly posting tweets rife with cultish crypto jargon, I mostly feel sorry for them. They're victims. They've been duped. Some of them have no doubt put a lot of money, real money, or less fake money, into NFTs, hoping their minting of choice will go to the moon, as they say, and they'll receive the windfall they've been hoping for. It's not going to happen for most of them. It might happen for some. I hope it does. There are people who have done very well with Mary Kay, but they aren't the smart ones. They're the lucky ones. I used to work at a truck stop, and there was a girl who worked there as a cashier, and every week her mom would come in, and they would buy a big pile of scratch-off lottery tickets, and they would spend her lunch break at the restaurant attached to the truck stop, sitting in a booth, scratching them off. And every once in a while, they'd get one that was a winner for $5, $20 if they were lucky. They spent a lot of money on lottery tickets. I don't know how much, but let's say it was $50 a week, which, judging by the number of tickets I saw them scratching off in that booth, it easily could have been. That's $2,600 a year. People do win the lottery. Some people win a lot of money. That doesn't mean spending thousands of dollars a year on lottery tickets is a wise investment. But at least state lotteries tell you the odds. They don't say, start buying these tickets and eventually you will win the big one, and if you don't, it must be something you did wrong. And the money state lotteries raise from selling tickets goes to fund important programs like public education, whereas all that money people spend on NFTs, it doesn't wind up in your local school district. More likely than not, it winds up in the pocket of some crypto bro who has been telling people publicly that NFTs are a can't miss investment and crypto is the currency of the future, but privately is smart enough to know that the only way to make money in those markets is to get other people to buy in so that he can cash out. If you invest in NFTs, you might make some money. Who knows? People have. But even if you do, you're still a mark. You're still doing more to make money for whoever's sitting on top of the pyramid than you are for yourself. And some of you are probably thinking, shit, that just sounds like capitalism. You're exactly right. Unregulated, scam-infested, anything-goes capitalism where the rich and the ruthless prey on the deluded and the desperate, which is why I really, really hope the executive order signed by the president last week actually goes somewhere. At least my mom got to keep the cosmetics she didn't sell. What are you left with when those NFTs you invested in go bust? A shitty drawing of an ape? Get the fuck out of here.